Now, this is where it gets a little bit interesting, because I told you that Ruto is trying to hide something. Greetings, lovely people. William Ruto's interview is one of the interviews that I can call a brutal interview. His answers are not corresponding with what is on the ground. William Ruto is definitely trying to hide something. From my analysis, listening carefully to Mr. Ruto, it seems like Ruto is standing on his ground, trying to protect his government and his security personnel. William Ruto is not speaking for the people of Kenya. Now let's look at some of the important questions that were asked and some of the answers that Ruto gave. Now, let's start with the question in regards to the dead. If truly he has blood in his hand, the first question goes, Mr. Ruto, do you have blood in your hands? Because people are dead. Over 20 people are dead and 9 missing. What's the answer from Mr. Ruto?
24 people dead. Your Excellency, do you have blood on your hands?
I have no blood on my hands.
So Ruto practically is trying to tell us that he is innocent. Meanwhile, people are dead because of your negligence. You did not listen to them from day one. If you were to listen to the people and then you took decision at the right time, things wouldn't have gone to the level where people have to lose their life. So practically, I can say Mr. Ruto failed that question. Now, another crucial question, again, in regards to the dead. He said, Mr. Ruto, how do you feel about the dead? Because people burying their children are watching you. A surprise answer. What's the answer Mr. Ruto gave?
There are people who are burying their children, whether they're 19 or 24, and they're watching now, and they want to see how you feel about the deaths. Give us your feeling.
And these are real human beings. Don't you feel a sense of responsibility for what is going on in the country?
When there are issues in town where criminals can take advantage of situations and create a situation where the police have to use rubber bullets, the police have to use live bullets in some cases, because that is what an independent police service has to do. And I'm sure the police have a record and have an explanation for every incident that they were engaged in.
Mr. Ruto is telling us right now that the people are dead because of criminals. Mr. Ruto is trying to justify the killing of these civilians with a narrative that some criminals took the weapons from the police and start shooting people. So the people are dead by the reason of criminals, not the police. He is protecting the police. I told you from the beginning of the video that he is trying to hide something. It's like Ruto is trying his best not to grudge with the police. So practically to say the people are dead, yes, but the police are not to be blamed. Now let's go to another question. Question about a 12-year-old who took 8 bullets. Listen to another unwise answer.
This boy, 12-year-old, took 8 bullets. 8 bullets into the body of a 12-year-old boy. What would you tell the mother of that boy?
This is the situation in Ngong, right? In Ngong, there was an incident where the police were overpowered by criminals. They took a firearm from the police. They used that firearm against people. And one policeman had to shoot this fellow who had hijacked a gun from a policeman so that not to endanger the lives of more citizens. It is among the 3 people. One of the criminals is among the 3 people who was shot by the police after they overpowered the police and took the bullet and took the gun from the police and used it against innocent citizens. I cannot confirm to you that this is not the man that shot the child, but investigations are going on.
There Mr. Ruto go again with the same narrative that criminals took over from the police. So he's blaming everything on criminals. So practically we can say that Mr. Ruto is trying to defend the police for unaliving citizens, innocent citizens, because they are protesting. We understood the fact that the whole thing turned into riot, but at the same time people's lives were lost because of the negligence of your police. Guys, what do you think about this answer? Let's go to another question. Now, this question is a crucial one in regards to the Kenyan National Commission of Human Rights. The Kenyan National Commission of Human Rights accounted for 24 dead. But when you watch the video, you see that Ruto keep mentioning 19 people that they are dead. Ruto is not in agreement with the Kenyan National Commission of Human Rights that 24 people are dead. He is maintaining the fact that only 19 people are dead. And the journalist added that, are you saying that the security told you that all of them are criminals? The journalist asked this question based on the answer Mr. Ruto is trying to give. Mr. Ruto is trying to propagate that the people who die, they might be criminals. He is trying to tell all of us, or cook the narrative to look like the police were actually shooting criminals, not innocent civilians. Now, these are two questions. Listen to how Mr. Ruto answered the question.
24 people dead.
19 people, to the record that I have from the security agencies, are dead.
The Kenyan National Commission on Human Rights is the one that has accounted for 24 bodies lying in morgues. And those bodies, the records show that these people either died in hospital and while undergoing treatment for gunshot wounds, or they ended up in the morgue in the last 2 weeks with gunshot wounds. 24.
The same Kenya Human Rights, Kenya Commission, Human Rights, National Human Rights Commission told the country a blatant fake news falsehood that there was a massacre.
This 24 is also...
Let me, you asked me a question, allow me to answer.
Yes.
An organization that is as reckless as to say there was a massacre when there was none, now is telling us there are 24, the police are saying 19. We will find out where the numbers are.
Now, from the question, you can see that Ruto is trying to tell all of us that the Kenyan National Commission of Human Rights cannot be trusted because they first of all said 20. And then they now came out and then said 24, which we can understand that maybe 20 people died in the process. Along the line, another 4th death was recorded. Who knows? But Ruto is still maintaining the fact that only 19 people. Now, this is the whole confusion. The number of people who die, we cannot tell because Ruto is mentioning 19 and the journalists are mentioning 24. So the number of people who die is not certain. Wow. Let's move forward, guys. Well, lovely people, you need to subscribe to the channel and then like the video, all right? Now, there is a question about a massacre that happened in one particular town, and the journalists were trying to bring the attention of Ruto that there were brutality in this particular town, according to reports by local media.
The same Kenya Human Rights Commission,
Kenyan National Commission.
Kenyan National Commission.
The government agency.
Yeah, the government agency.
Yes.
Told the nation that there was a massacre in Githurai and 20 people were killed in Githurai. Were 20 people killed in Githurai? Really? So an organization that can tell the country without verifying that there was a massacre in Githurai. In fact, BBC, on that account, went to investigate in Githurai. And of course, you have read, BBC has said there was no massacre in Githurai.
So Ruto is trying to tell us that he doesn't trust the media in Kenya, but he trusts BBC. That BBC has gone there to investigate. Wow, really? It has gotten to this level. Now, this is where it gets a little bit interesting because I told you that Ruto is trying to hide something. Now, let's get going. Another question was asked about extrajudicial killing. He denied it. The journalist is like they came prepared. It's like they know the kind of person they're coming to have the interview with. So they came very prepared. Immediately, the journalist pulled out a statement from his own deputy confirming the extrajudicial killing and adoption. Now, when you listen to Ruto carefully, you see that at this point, Ruto was fumbling. Watch out.
You may not believe the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights, but surely you would believe your own deputy who has said there's been a return to extrajudicial killings and abductions, contrary to what you and him promised the people of Kenya.
Let me tell you, I am the president and I speak for the government of Kenya. There will be no extrajudicial killing in Kenya. I have kept my promise. I have told you that if there is any arrest by the police, that does not amount to an abduction.
Now, so the conclusion of Ruto's message is that I am the president, listen to me. So you don't take the words of my deputy serious. That is exactly what Ruto was trying to project. Then the journalist asked a very crucial question. Watch.
You have absolutely no regrets about the abductions and no regrets about the killings?
Those are your words. Those are not mine.
They're also your deputy's words.
Don't put words in my mouth.
They're also your deputy's words, and he's part of your government, because it's so scary, Mr. President, sitting there and telling the whole country that from this moment on, we should not believe what your deputy tells us about the state of the nation until you speak. Yet we all thought that you're part of the same government.
Don't inject my deputy into this conversation. I think it is not fair, since he's not here, to tell you in what context he said whatever he said. I think it is not proper to discuss the deputy president here, and he's my deputy. Please let me deal.
But have you asked him?
You see, he said don't mention him. He is not here, so we can't speak on his behalf. Guys, these guys are trickish. Our leaders, there's a problem with our leaders. He is trying to take every blame from the government and from the police and then put it on the citizens that they cause their own losses. That's what Ruto is trying to do. As a leader, you must take responsibility. This doesn't look like one. Now, there is another critical question that was asked Ruto, which I think Ruto made a very big mistake in the way he answered the question.
Things stand now, Mr. President. Are you satisfied with how the police handled this whole matter?
I think the police have done the best they could.
Really? The police have done their best. People are dead and the police have done their best. At the end of the day, we don't have to be biased in all these things. I agree, the police, some were even helping the citizens to clear the tear gas off their eye. We saw the video. The police, they were doing their best to control the situation. But I just don't feel okay, or it is not okay, the way Ruto is trying everything to make sure that he protects the police and not associating any blame to the police, but only the citizens. That's where the problem is coming in.